Welcome to ULTRA TV, the cinematic Monte to Ultra Magazine's Rosa. We're here today with Jasmin Paris to discuss all things about running through the Swiss Alps and lots more besides. Jasmin, hello.
Hello.
And thank you ever so much for agreeing to speak to us today. Fabulous achievement, UTMR. Tell us all about it. What was the highlights for you? What went well? What didn't go so well?
Thanks very much. It's a fantastic race. It's a really sort of technical course, and the scenery is amazing. So I think those are kind of real highlights. I mean, the views of when we were running towards Zermatt and then beyond the kind of loop around Zermatt, the views of the Matterhorn are fantastic. Some really exciting kind of rocky terrain, fun stuff to run on. So I really enjoyed that. There was some exposure in places as well, which is kind of challenging when you're on tired legs. But yeah, lots of fun. And I think the other thing about the race that's really amazing is it has a kind of really friendly family feel.
Right.
And that's probably partly because it's a much smaller race than, say, the UTMB. The checkpoints are kind of, it feels a bit like coming back to your family at every checkpoint. I said that at the end of the race, and I think Lizzie said, "Oh, you must have a really dysfunctional family." But no, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
At the checkpoints, they couldn't do enough to help. Know, offered massages and everything,
really?
Everything and beyond.
Nice.
So I think, and it's also because it's quite a long race. After 32 hours of running, the sort of people that you'd been around running during the race, sort of, it felt like we'd come through something together. So it was. Felt like you'd sort of made friends on the way.
Did it feel more like a purist race compared to kind of the commercial element of UTMB?
It did feel more like that. There was also very little in the way of kind of stalls or advertising or kind of media stuff around it. It was, to be honest, it was I think a kind of a fell runner's 100-mile race. So for me, it was stripped back, and it was what it all comes down to is wanting to run in the mountains. So yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I would really recommend it.
Cool. So it's great to hear that you had so many positive experiences at UTMR. Were there anything on the flip side of that wasn't quite so good?
I guess I think most people in a 100-mile race have a kind of bad patch. I did have that coming out of the valley. So roughly sort of 60k into the race, we had to run down a valley for 20k. Which is, I think, partly because of the route change. It was a nice enough track, but it's kind of hot in the valley, and most ultra runners are not used to running that fast for 60k into the race. And then we had to do a huge climb back out of the valley. And at that point, I started to feel sick, which is kind of standard, isn't it, at some point in a long race? So that was kind of a low point.
Right.
But I managed to pull myself out of that, so that was good. And then the other kind of hard aspect of the UTMR for me was that I really struggled with feeling sleepy on the night, the kind of second night, or the first full night, and I was just kind of tripping up. And honestly, I'm not sure if it would have been better to just have a power nap on the path. I did think about just lying down on the path, but the runners were quite spaced out by then, so I thought I might just end up sleeping here for quite a while. So I just drank some Coke at the next checkpoint instead. But it made me think that I think you can get these kind of caffeine, like chewing gum things. I thought I might
get those
try
little blocks of kind of caffeine stuff.
So I think I might see about something like that in the future.
Okay, interesting. One of the things that probably frustrates people who watch our ULTRA TV channel is I always talk about nutrition. It's like a pet thing of mine, and I'm really interested in it. So I've read other interviews with you, and you kind of just say, well, you eat healthy anyway, and you kind of cook meals and all the rest of it. But is there a specific, do you take a specific approach to your nutrition, to what you eat when you're out on these longer races? And, how does that look for you? Is it gels, or is it kind of chocolate brown? What does your nutrition look like?
I guess I would always try to eat normal food for as long as I can in these kind of ultra races. And I do think that helps, like if you start eating gels early on or consistently eat something like gels, then it just messes with my stomach, and it would end up having real problems. It was interesting on the UTMR actually. I really noticed that when I stopped and had like a proper meal, as in like soup, salty soup with pasta in it, it was really interesting because at 30 minutes later my stomach would start grumbling, like really loudly making noises, and I think it must have just been that it sort of got restarted, you know, like digestion was like, oh, some proper food, and like then just restarted, so it kind of made me hungrier.
But did that improve your performance? Did that correspond with a kind of an extra energy?
Yeah, kind of and kick? I think that then the kind of mood lifted as well.
Okay, would you like to play a game with me, Jasmin? Would you like to play a kind of a preference game? So if I give you two options and you tell me which one you prefer.
Ahead.
Right, okay, so I've written a few down here in typical Blue Peter style. All right?
Yeah.
So I'll read them out and you tell me what you think. Okay, so UTMB or UTMR?
UTMR.
Ramsey round or Bob Graham round?
Ramsey round. Sky
running or fell running?
Fell running. Oh, that's a difficult one, but fell running. It's my first love.
Gels or bars?
Bars.
Flat Coke or electrolytes?
Flat Coke.
Courtney or Beth?
Beth.
Brilliant. Jasmin, thank you ever so much. I know you've got another appointment to go to, so I don't want to keep you any longer, but thank you ever so much for agreeing to have a chat to Ultra TV today. If you've liked the interview with Jasmin and me, please click on the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe to our Ultra TV channel. And if you want to subscribe to Ultra Magazine, you can find us at www.ultra-magazine.com. You might want to click on notifications so you get updates every time we post a new video. Thank you ever so much. Jasmin, thank you again.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Apps.